Hello. What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pam, and today we are doing a really fun video. This is a 1-year update of my very first Ecuagenera order. I put this order in the beginning stages of the pandy, and we didn't really know how bad things were gonna get and all that stuff, so it did take quite a while for me to get my order, but it ended up coming like right in the middle of a very long period of lockdown, obviously, so it was nice to get them. And I realized as I was looking at the video that I did of the unboxing of these plants that we are just approaching the 1-year mark. So this is a great day to do an update. I was just gonna, repot a couple of them, but I think I'll just show them all to you and we'll get through this somewhat scary and a little bit embarrassing repot in just a second. I will be taking these out of semi-hydro where I've had them for the last year. They have put on a lot of growth in that setup, so I'm taking a little bit of a risk here, but the thing is I have decided semi-hydro is just not for me. I don't know what it is with that and like my neurodivergent ass. I just cannot make myself change the nutrients, flush them, do all that stuff. Like it's just, I don't know why. It's not even that complicated, but my plants are kind of suffering because of my neglect in that department. So I'm just gonna take them out. I'm gonna put them in some nice, chunky, barky, charcoaly, perlite-y soil over here, and I'm also going to put a little bit of systemic in there just because these plants have stayed mostly pest-free, and I'd like to keep it that way. We're slowly poisoning all the plants in the house. I'm doing it sort of small groups at a time so that I can make sure everything's okay and, make sure that none of the pets go near anything or anything. So don't yell at me in the comments. I'm at my breaking point, okay? I think I'm gonna practice semi-hydro with like just a few plants. And I have about 10 in semi-hydro right now, and apparently that's too much, so. All right, so we're ready. I've got some pots here. I've got a cat clawing my chair. All right, so first I'm gonna just put this down for a sec. I will show you the philodendron verrucosum. This is what Ecuagenera calls the number 5, I believe, the Verrucosum 5, the El Choco Red. And there is a new leaf coming in right there, and 3 rather beautiful leaves. This one is a little like floppy, and I think it was just from it trying to get to the grow light. I have these under, I need to like rearrange that whole section, so first part of that was to repot these. It's such a beautiful plant, and I've really not had any problems with it, and I'm hoping that this doesn't create a problem where one did not exist, but it has managed my neglect very well so far, so I think that it will be okay. So first thing is to get it out of the leca. If you don't know what that is, it is a semi-hydroponics medium, and they basically just like absorb water. But the thing is that I just, oh, look at these roots. What am I gonna do? See, like, what do? Do you just constantly repot things? Like, it just seems exhausting. This is awful. Did I look this up? Did I learn how to do this before this video? No. Would that be any fun to watch? No. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in a, sort of medium-ish pot. Hopefully that won't be too big for it. I'm afraid it's too top-heavy to go in anything smaller. So I think this was really one of my last, I ordered from Ecuagenera twice, and they were kind of my last plant order before I kind of stopped spending money on plants altogether. I did a few videos about, just feeling like I had too many and I wasn't really in the headspace to be taking care of them. Surprise, surprise, after a very long and difficult couple of years. My soil is nice and moist too, so this is gonna not really need any kind of watering for a few. So, No Buy July is over, and I had a really good experience just cold turkey, not shopping for, things that I didn't need, And I really just didn't shop for much of anything at all. Besides food, obviously. But it was nice to just completely break that habit of, laying down at night or whatever and just like scrolling, websites of whatever is my current soothing shopping item. Recently it's been like indie perfumes. Like love getting indie perfumes. I really need to build a potting bench. Okay, so we've got this guy somewhat potted in here. I'm trying to make sure I don't overbury the stem here. Not the world's most attractive thing, but it will give it a little bit of stability while it gets rooted into this pot. Okay. And then the other thing is I'm probably just going to take this leaf off because it's going downhill fast. And I've got some pruners over here that were just resting in alcohol. I'm just going to snip it right off. And then see you later. Okay, so that looks nicer. And then she's going to get a very nice home with a better light, and hopefully that will flush it out a little bit more. I hope these are okay. So I will give you guys an update on the whole process of taking these out of the semi-hydro, and we'll see how they acclimate. We have the philodendron Plowmanii. Now this thing has put on some quite a bit of growth in 11 months, and probably close to a year when you see this. And it was already about here when I got it, maybe like 3 nodes. And as you can see, it's just grown this entire like beautiful branch here. So I don't know what to make of this thing. What do you guys do with yours? Do you let it like grow up a wall or something? That's probably what I will do. Make some kind of trellis for it. But for now, I have to try to get it out of this semi-hydro. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I'll force it to bend. And yes, fuck me, man. So if you're thinking like, you should chop these, yes, I should do that. And then make a fuller pot. That would be the smart thing to do, and I think that I will do that. But for right now, I'm just going to get them out of this wretched leca. No offense if you like semi-hydro, I don't know why it's just not jiving with my plant care style, which is neglect. Just neglect. Okay, so I'm finding if you do a combination of jiggle and squeeze. Okay, so again, we've got a ton of roots stuck in the bottom, and I should have known better than to do this, honestly, because I know me, and I should have known that the roots would just grow out of the bottom, and this would be a miserable experience for the plant and me. And if you want to know a mother's secret to untangling things, it's light jiggling. Just a little pull, just a little tug, just a little jiggle. It'll all work itself out. You can't see, but I'm actually holding the pot with my knees and the plant with my other hand right now. This is stupid. Don't do this. So I have a week coming up where I do not have my son. My daughter lives on her own. She's grown up. And then my son has gone to spend the week with his cousins and his aunt and uncle. So I have an abundance of time to myself this week, and I am pretty excited to use a good chunk of it filming. So that's going to be really fun. And a large part of what I'm going to be filming over the next month or so is going to be like houseplant repair, basically, because I do have a lot of plants that are not necessarily like in bad shape. They're just desperately in need of a repotting. You know, maybe their soil is becoming hydrophobic, which means when you probably had pots where, you know, the soil gets kind of parched and dry and it pulls away from the sides of the pots easy, and then when you water it, water just seems to like roll over the top of it. I have a plant over here that needs to be repotted that is in that situation now. So when I repot, I kind of just like gently lift, you know, just letting some of the roots separate from each other and letting the soil get between them, but I don't want to be too rough because you don't want to break off any more roots. Fungus gnat. And if you're wondering about the systemic use, I do still really love my integrated pest management where you're using predator mites to combat mites, especially spider mites. I mean, cannot speak highly enough of using predator mites for spider mites if you can. Fortunately, they're very expensive, and sometimes I would come into them without having to pay for them, and that was really nice, but it's not like a consistent thing. So I have gone ahead and started adding some systemic to the plants that are very susceptible to pests, especially ahead of the winter. I just didn't really want to mess around, and I don't have the... I don't like to use stuff like that in the house. Just I have pets and stuff, and you know, I don't know. I'm the kind of dum-dum that would like touch it and then touch my face, you know. But I'm basically adding it in the middle, you know, so it's down in the soil, and when I water, it's not gonna, you know, like puff up, which can happen sometimes when you just add it to the top of soil. I'm by no means an expert on this department of pest management. I'm still sort of learning my way around it, but it is pretty effective, and it is incredibly effective, I would say. But I feel like it did kind of, I don't know, some of my plants got a little, they had a little bit of a hard time adjusting, and I don't know if I used too much or what, but it seemed to have affected a couple of my plants, so it sort of put me off using it for a while. But at this point, I can afford to lose some leaves, I can afford some brown tips. I cannot afford to have a full-on pest invasion when, you know, there's only 4 hours of daylight left, so that's when things go bad. Shout out to my seasonal affective disorder suffering viewers. Okay, so get this rather wacky plant. I love these little circular trellises. Yeah, so this plant is the only one I've ever seen with a thrip on it. I only ever saw the one, but I'm not taking any chances now. And this one's also suffered a little bit. It was not getting its nutrients, you know, on a proper schedule, which is another reason why, you know, well, and that's obviously why I'm trying to get these out of the semi-hydro. So hopefully this will do it. Okay, and this is the last one from that order. And this one's probably in the roughest shape. I had put it in this tiny little thing, and it only had very small roots when I got it. So that was the reason that I put it in the very tiny thing, but now it's, you know, it's grown up just a bit. And then obviously we've got this sad little leaf right here that we're just gonna go ahead and take right off. And this plant could use a propagation. I'm just gonna probably cut it, you know, here and see how this top cutting goes and see if this bottom one does well on its own. But it's only the roots. There's like a little plant trying to grow on this side too. Oh, this is the philodendron rugosum, by the way. This is gonna be hard to get out. Ugh, why did I do this to me? And it's only been 11 months, you know? I don't know, is that long? It's probably long. Okay, the jiggle's not working on this one. So I do plan to kind of continue on the no-buy thing because it just feels good to not be bringing more crap in the house. And I'm very in get crap out of the house mode right now. So I am trying to declutter, you know, like 10 things a day, just get stuff out of my house, out of the cabinets, out of the fridge, you know, just replacing condiments, just doing those kind of annual, like, what is going on in the crooks and crannies of my house. So, did I just say crooks and crannies? What the fuck are those? So I've just been trying to get rid of like 10 things a day, you know, just even if I just open a drawer and throw a few things away out of there that I don't need anymore, or throw some things in the donation pile, like, it just feels good. So I'm trying to get that going before it gets too cold and you don't really want to do anything up in attics and stuff like that. well, before it gets, you know, cold and dark and I just want to, you know, curl up and read for the winter. Do I have any readers in the house? What are you reading right now? I'm working on my first Murakami book. It's weird. It's been a time. Can't say I'm enjoying it, can't say I'm not enjoying it. I don't really know what's happening yet, so we'll find out. I've been reading it for what feels like 1,000 pages, but I'm just a little over halfway done. Oh, I'm reading the Wind Up Bird Chronicles, by the way. Okay, so this might be the best that we're gonna get out of this tangled mess. Like we're having a Goldilocks pot situation here, or it's either too big or too small, but we are gonna make do. Whew, so I'm gonna have a lot of propagation to do, so I guess that will be in an upcoming video as well. Why don't you go ahead and drop a comment, especially if you don't usually comment. I see you there. It's okay, you don't have to, but maybe you could. Well, just try it. And tell me what your favorite propagation method is. Are you like team moss, team cocoa coir? Do you use perlite? Are you just like straight into the water? Do you like to just go right into the pot? Like what's your favorite style of propagation? Maybe I'll put up a poll on the community tab later too. All right, so my little philodendron rugosum is in a much better pot, and now I just gotta find a little tray for that. And that gives us 3 repotted Ecuagenera plants 1 year later. So, you know, if I can keep these alive, you can keep them alive. Trust me. And if I kill them by doing this, I will put this clip in the video and we'll have some sad violin music and yeah. Like all the random, you know, no profile picture guys that come and tell me that I do everything wrong can come and tell me that I did everything wrong. It'll be great. Okay, friends, thank you so much for joining me while I revisited this very exciting plant order that I placed a year ago and checking out how the plants are doing. If you are a patron, you can go over to Patreon now. There should be a little bonus video with a couple more repotting plants and we can hang out a little bit longer. And thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you guys very soon in the next one. Bye!